Hello, everyone. It's Mike from Downtown Comics. I'm here with James Rossman. James, how are we doing?
Good.
All right, it's time for you to give us some comic
It
book
is.
news for the
Yep.
week of June 25th, 2025. So, what do we have on the interwebs?
Yeah, so up first, kind of probably one of the bigger things from this past week was Robert Kirkman and Dan Moore taking over Transformers
Okay.
at
All right.
issue number 24. So taking over from Daniel Warren Johnson and is that Jorge Corona? I think is the artist.
I'll trust you.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
Yep.
If I'm
Okay.
not mistaken.
All right.
So, but yeah, no, I'm
That's
excited about that.
That's an interesting choice. Dan Moore is a very good artist.
Mhm. Oh, yeah.
DC, Batman, World's Finest. But it is interesting because the guy that's doing it now has a very kind of rough style.
He does,
Like
yeah.
it's not exactly. I don't know how to. I don't know. I'm not an artist, so I don't know how to. He's got more of an interpretation.
Mhm.
I mean, it's still really detailed, but it's a abstract detail. Where Dan Moore is very strict.
Yeah, very opposite.
Just very
Yeah.
very kind of
Definitely.
opposite. So it'll be interesting to see what that is.
Which-
but he's a great
yeah.
artist, so
Oh, yeah.
But it's an interesting choice. It does go a different direction, art style wise. So.
Yeah, and which I'm excited for because Dan Moore is probably I'd rate him my favorite comic book artist as of right now.
I mean,
So,
he's very underrated. I
Yeah.
think. I don't think he gets enough.
Right.
Like like back in the day, he'd be right up there with like Jim Lee and
Oh, yeah.
back in the day when I was tracking all the different artists. Now there's so many good
Oh
ones.
my gosh,
it's
yeah,
hard
it's-
to pin
it
down.
really it definitely
So,
is.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right. That'll be fun. And you said it starts with what? Issue 25?
issue 25. Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah,
Alright.
so which I think we're on issue 20.
20 or 21, I
Yeah,
think, right?
right.
now.
So
Yep.
yeah, pretty soon.
Okay.
So, but another cool thing was, and I think this may be a rumor. I don't think it's set in stone yet.
All right.
But Absolute Wonder Woman may have a crossover with other Absolute DC characters, starting in possibly December.
Okay. So,
So-
our first meeting of some of
Mhm.
the absolute characters.
Which
okay.
that would be that's gonna be really cool if
Okay.
that stays true.
All right.
Pretty excited about that. And I don't think we talked about it, but John Bernthal back as Punisher. He's gonna be in Spider-Man: Brand New Day, and
Okay.
I think there's gonna be another.
I thought aren't we still waiting? Isn't the Punisher getting his own little mini movie or
Yeah,
something?
yeah. There's like
Okay.
a mini, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they've announced he's going to be in
Mhm.
an actual Marvel movie.
Yeah, which
Okay.
actually this, I kind of feel like between the way he is in the show, like Punisher is in the show, they're gonna have to scale him back a little bit, just because if he's gonna be in Spider-Man: Brand New Day, that's a rated.
I don't know. It'll
PG.
be I
PG-13.
think but I do think it'd be a good juxtaposition for
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man to
Yep.
meet this kind of character and see how he reacts to it. Because
Mhm.
obviously it was big in the comics as well.
Yeah.
How does Spider-Man, who wants to do good and have responsibility, deal with a guy who's very much willing to just shoot someone in the head?
Mhm.
So yeah, you're right. I don't think we'll get the kind of swearing or the blood and guts, but I
Yeah.
still think you can do a lot at PG-13.
Oh yeah, I think so.
Especially
too. Yeah.
as long as it's not nudity.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, you can
Right.
do a lot of violent stuff in a PG-13 movie. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not worried about it. I think
Yeah.
think again, I want him to have a harder edge because I think that
Yeah.
makes it
Mhm.
makes it interesting. So if they tone it down, it's not going to be as interesting, I think.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, for sure. So I'm excited about
Okay.
that. I'm glad that they,
All right.
I'm glad they've stuck with John Bernthal through this whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good to have continuity there.
Yeah, yep. And I hope that they do. I hope he gets another like season of his show. Like,
I guess we'll see if
Yeah.
if this mini movie or whatever comes out and does well. I'm sure they
Mhm.
will do more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. So, but yeah, no other. And this one I kind of laughed at when I saw there. A new Transformers movie is early in the in the making and directed by who do you think?
No, seriously.
By Michael Bay. Yep.
Oh, because what
So-
was the one? What was the one? Not Bumblebee, but there was one after Bumblebee, right? Not the. Wasn't there a live action?
Yeah. So there's Bumblebee, the Transformers 4, Bumblebee. Yeah.
What was the one that was a sequel to Bumblebee?
Shoot.
And I was it a cartoon? Was it a cartoon
Was it the
one? or-
Transformers 1 or 1? Transformers 1? No, that was a cartoon one. Yeah, that was animated.
Wasn't there a live action?
I swear there was.
What?
Now there's so many.
Well,
I'm like,
okay, well, I'm kind of I'm being hyper, or I don't know. I'm being proven wrong in the fact that I kind of like the one that was after Bumblebee. I thought, okay, this is more Transformers that I want, but now that I can't think of it, it seems like, well, did it really affect me as what I'm
as much
saying?
as you thought? Yeah. I mean,
all
that's
right.
why,
Well,
yeah.
I do like Michael Bay, and maybe in his older age he's gonna tone it down.
Right.
I don't know.
As far as like the human aspect of it, or
yes, that's what I yes
Mm-hmm.
I yes as we all know, we go to a Transformers. We want to have the story about the Transformers,
that's
not
it.
about the random human they get to
Right.
run around with the Transformers. So
yeah.
okay, yeah, whatever.
So,
all right,
yeah.
I'll probably see it.
Yeah, I definitely will too. But yeah, so we'll see what
Okay.
comes of that. So
all right.
but yeah, nothing too much about that as of right now. So, but I don't think we've talked about it, but the crossovers that are going to be happening.
Yeah,
soon.
somehow, and I said this as soon as they got the license to do that omnibus.
Yeah.
Last year,
Yeah.
I was like, okay. I mean, it seems like they're playing nice somehow, and so yeah, here we go. The fruit of that, whatever that contract did, is now coming to pass. We're back with some DC Marvel crossover stuff, so I'm excited.
Yeah, I think the way that because they're doing it to where it's like, it's going to be Deadpool for Marvel. It's going to be Deadpool, Batman, and I think they're doing another one where it's Batman, Deadpool.
Right. So this is how they did a few of them in the 90s. So some of them were one shots, like Green Lantern, Silver Surfer, I believe was a one shot. But so usually when you're dealing with this, both companies are trying to make sure that their character doesn't get overshadowed by the other one.
Right.
So they're always, and so sometimes that can take the teeth out of a story where it's like, oh, well, like Batman can't beat, Captain America. Captain America can't beat Batman, right? So what they do is they go, okay, DC, you have your shot. You come up with a story, and we're going to assume that Batman's kind of the protagonist and the Marvel character is the antagonist.
Right.
And so if you want to do something where, Batman gets one over on our guy, that's fine. But then we get Captain America, Batman, and the same thing's going to happen. So there's this kind of mutual destruction attitude on, like, if you cross that line where you really put one over on our guy, we can do the same to you. So just don't. So it's almost this, So this is the way it was done. So there was a Spider-Man Batman back in the 90s and a Batman Spider-Man. There was a Punisher Batman and a Batman Punisher.
Yeah, okay.
So this was done in the 90s. So I'm glad they're doing it again. So yes. Yeah, so the first one will be Marvel's, and then you're right. There's a follow-up in November for the DC one.
Because it comes out in September, right? The
Marvel supposedly is in September. Yes.
Cool. But have you heard about what the other ones are going to be?
Well, see, I saw in the solicitation there's other ones, which made me think these are all going to be separate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know. Yeah, go ahead and give me. I did see this, but go ahead and lay it out for our audience there.
So for the for the Deadpool, Batman, we're gonna have Zeb Wells and Greg Capullo.
That's awesome. Yeah.
So we're gonna have Kevin Smith and Adam Kubert, which is gonna be the Oliver Queen / Matt Murdock.
Okay, so Green Arrow, Daredevil never really cross paths. So
right. Yeah.
Interesting.
So
okay.
I think that's probably one of the ones I'm most excited for.
Well, yeah. I mean, Kevin Smith hasn't wrote.
No.
Well, did he write that? Did he write the Quiet Stop stuff, or was he just like overseeing it? The Jay and Silent Bob
Yeah, I don't
stuff?
think he wrote.
Okay, so it has been. Well, it's been a while since Kevin Smith is written. I think the last thing he wrote was that Spider-Man Mary Jane comic that got delayed by like a year and a half or something. I think that was in the early 2000s. So I think it's been a good 15, 20 years since he's written any superhero stuff.
I don't even know what he's up to like outside of that. To be honest.
Making Clerks movies.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah,
it's making a new Clerks movie. So.
But then we have Chip Zdarsky and Terry Dodson on Captain America and Wonder Woman.
Awesome.
So that'll be pretty cool.
Okay.
And then we have Kelly Thompson and I don't know how to pronounce the artist's name, but one's going to be
the guy that draws. Yeah. Okay. So he draws the Japanese inspired. The Japanese inspired art. Okay. Yeah. I can't pronounce it either.
Yeah.
Starts with a G.
It starts with exactly. Yeah, so, but this one's going to be Crypto the Super Dog and Jeff the Land Shark.
Sure,
So
why not?
that'll
Yeah,
be
Jeff.
fun,
Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Yeah. No,
So,
these are good because they're obviously crossovers that they're not just going back to the well and like, oh, let's do
Yes.
Batman,
Do it
Spider-Man
all over
again.
again.
Not that
Yeah.
we wouldn't like that,
Right,
but yeah,
right.
but the Green Arrow Daredevil one, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that could be real fun. So
I
cool.
hope because how many did they do prior? Do you remember?
What, in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh, they did a ton.
They
like
did
I
10?
said,
Okay,
well,
yeah.
besides the DC versus Marvel, like the miniseries.
Yeah.
Then they had the Amalgam universe, which they could bring that back.
Yeah, that's true.
Where they just mashed heroes together.
That would
But
be
then
so
you
cool.
had, so you had a bunch of one shots. So basically, like I said, you got Spider-Man and Batman had 2. Batman Punisher had 2. There was a Silver Surfer Green Lantern. There was a Dark Side Galactus one. So that was kind of the
I
Silver.
don't think it- yeah,
So Silver Surfer Green Lantern was like the one half, and then Galactus Darkseid was kind of the other half of that twofer. You had Batman, Captain America, you had Daredevil, Batman, Superman. I'm trying to remember. I know there was at
I'm
least
pretty
one
sure I got that
Superman.
omnibus, and I can't even remember.
Yeah. So. Yeah, they would be in. Yeah, it's in the
Okay.
omnibus. Yeah, so there was a
Sweet,
lot. I mean,
yeah.
there was enough to fill an omnibus.
Yeah,
so-
yeah. Yeah,
one
so-
half an omnibus.
Yeah.
So-
So I'll be excited to see, where they go after this.
Yeah,
So,
bring it on. You
yeah.
know, as long as there's good stories and they got good creative teams, I'm all
Mhm.
for it. So
Yeah. Definitely. So
Cool. All
yeah.
right.
I don't really have a lot to say about this yet because neither of us have watched it yet. But Ironheart, I think that might be one that we do like a
Yes.
couple
Yeah. We'll
videos.
watch it because I think there's only six episodes.
6 episodes, yeah.
Yeah. So
Which
we'll
is-
watch it.
I think most of the time, what Marvel shows are like 9 episodes or so.
8 to 10.
8 to 10, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, 6 episodes because they if you haven't watched it yet, they dropped the first 3 this week, and then they're dropping the last 3 next week.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
So, but
Alright.
yeah. So, but the last thing that I have is, have you heard of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man's coming back to theaters?
Oh, you mean like one of those? It's the 25th anniversary or something like
Yeah,
that.
I don't know.
Because it
like-
came out in 2002,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
it would be 2027 would be the 25th anniversary.
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
But is it coming back soon?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So the first Spider-Man that came out in 2002. It's going to be released on Friday, September 26th, and again on Friday, October 3rd of
Okay.
this year.
Okay.
So then for Spider-Man 2, you get Saturday, September 27th and October 4th,
Okay.
and then Spider-Man 3, you get Sunday, September 28th and October 5th.
Okay.
So
All right.
so yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, that'll be kind of fun because I didn't see. Did you see them in theaters? I'm sure you did.
Of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So I don't think I saw any of those in theaters. So yeah,
Actually, which was it? Spider-Man. I want to say it was Spider-Man 2. Correct me, all you old Downtown Comics customers, if you remember this, but we bought out a theater.
Whoa.
I want to say it was for Spider-Man 2, and then we basically invited like 200 customers to go
Holy
see it.
smokes, that's
We bought out
amazing.
a theater. So,
Whoa.
but I can't remember. I think it was Spider-Man 2. So yeah, if you remember, all Downtown Comics customers, what movie did we buy out a theater? I think we did it twice, but I'm not sure. Boy,
Oh
my
my
memory
goodness,
really
that-
sucks.
I'm
So-
sure that was fun.
Oh, it was awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Did they
Yeah.
have anything that like, because theaters I feel like did so much more for movies back then, but did they do anything special for the Spider-Man movies?
No.
No, they didn't.
No,
Okay.
no. Yeah, and I think you can still do the theater. I think some theaters still will allow you to,
Oh, is it?
like,
Okay.
because you're basically just buying all the tickets.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, in today's money, that would be quite. I mean, it wasn't quite as expensive back then. It would be a lot. There'd be a lot. It'd be a lot.
It'd have to be like a
More
standard
expensive.
showing, not an IMAX.
Oh yeah, no, it was definitely a standard showing back
Yeah.
then, and it was one of the smaller theaters. So,
Oh,
like I
sure.
said, I think it only held like 200. Maybe it was only 150 even. So
That's
I
really-
don't
that's
remember
really
the
cool.
number. It wasn't
Yeah.
one of the bigger ones. It was a smaller one. So yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. So, but it was super fun.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, but no, I've seen all the Spider-Mans. In
Nice.
theaters,
Yeah, I'm definitely tickets go on sale July 25th for these, so I'm definitely gonna be doing that because, like I said, I haven't seen any of those because 2007. Oh my gosh!
Don't tell me how old they were. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
Just don't. Just don't. Thank
So
you.
yeah, I'm pretty excited about that.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. I have one thing. I told you I
Nice.
had one thing.
Heck
You didn't
yeah.
mention it, so I'm going to mention
Sweet.
it because I'm a huge James Bond fan. They just announced
Yeah.
that Denis Villeneuve, if I'm pronouncing it
Mhm.
correctly, was said that he's going to direct
Direct it.
the next James Bond
Yes.
movie. So, oh my gosh.
Because he's done Dune.
He's
done-
Dune. He's The Arrival.
Right. Yeah.
He's Blade Runner 2049 or whatever.
That's the one with
The
Harrison.
guy just makes big movies,
does, yeah.
and so he is, for probably your generation, he
Mhm.
would be the Steven Spielberg get of
Yeah.
like the 80s. Like if they said that, because at one point, Spielberg, if you didn't know this, he made Raiders, but he was gunning for a James Bond movie.
Oh, I didn't know
He
that.
wanted to direct a James Bond movie, and then Raiders was kind of his opportunity to do that.
Okay.
And the reason he didn't get it is because the James Bond franchise kind of had a thing where they only hired British people. They were very much, this is a British character,
Mhm.
we're going to hire British people.
Okay.
British,
Yeah.
And I guess that also counted as like kind of Irish, because I think Pierce Brosnan is the Irish. I think he's Irish, and technically Sean Connery, he's Scottish. So
Okay,
it's
yeah.
the UK, I guess.
Mhm.
Not necessarily just British, but yeah. So that's why you didn't see a lot more famous. Most of the James Bond movies, at least early on, up until like the 90s, I think. You don't really know the directors. You go back and look.
That's
you're
true,
like, who's
yeah.
this guy, right?
Right.
You never heard of him. He didn't really do much, and that's just because it was kind of their little studio system that they had. They had guys they liked to work with who knew how to run in that circle and stuff. So yeah. So in this case, if they had announced like Moonraker, directed by Steven Spielberg, in 1980, people would have freaked the f out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So this is awesome because I need another James Bond movie. I'm a huge fan,
Yeah,
and
when
my
did the
God, it
last
takes
Daniel
so.
Craig one?
Oh my gosh, it just. It's already been like 3 years, I think, since the last
I
one.
think so. Yeah, about that.
So, and even them just announcing him as a director,
Mhm.
they've got no script, no title,
Yeah.
no actual
Yeah.
James Bond yet. So
Yeah.
we're in stage 0.01 of 100% James Bond movie. So. And supposedly he's filming another Dune. Is that true?
Yeah, I think he's the third one. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep. So wait, so
Okay.
he's going to be doing the.
So he's doing
Dune
that
3
right
and then-
now, I think, and then he's
Yeah.
going to production on James Bond. So yeah, we're probably
Okay.
still looking at 2028, I bet,
Probably.
2027, 2028. So
Which the Dune movies are fantastic.
they are. But no, this
But-
was very like, this is gonna that could be really super cool. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Well, not to put you on the spot, but
Right.
what's your favorite James Bond film?
Well, top 3. I'll just give you top 3. Top 3 are, and they kind of flip in order, and maybe it also goes to like what I'm in the mood for. But top 3, GoldenEye, Spy Who Loved Me, and then Casino Royale.
Okay.
And
Casino Royale, the first Daniel.
first Daniel
Yeah,
Craig
okay,
one.
yeah.
Yeah. So I think those 3 are kind of my favorites. To just, if any of those 3 are on, I will watch them. I mean,
Okay.
I like all James Bond. I have a fondness for Moonraker
Mhm.
because that was the first one I was able to see in the theater.
Okay. Yeah.
Because again, if you didn't know, like James Bond in space is obviously ludicrous. That's the thing. But it was specifically
Yeah.
greenlit because Star Wars did so well. So once Star Wars did well in the
yeah.
late 70s, every studio wanted something science fiction all of a sudden, right?
Makes sense.
And so the producers literally said, well, they'd even announced what the next James Bond movie was going to be at the end, because that's what they, like in the 60s and 70s, at the end credits, it said James Bond will return in blank. They already knew what the next one was going to be.
Yeah.
And so at the end of Spy Who Loved Me, which was the one right before Moon,